Morning at NTV. Now, you have heard this a lot during this election period. A lot more is happening, if I should bring it to that aspect, especially from the opposition candidates telling police that what they're doing to block their rallies is illegal, and also from the president saying that the opposition is holding processions is also illegal, and the Electoral Commission also having its tongue tied. So, who will give us answers to some of these questions? Let's try to get some answers from Simon Peter Musangala, the founder of Musangala and Co-Advocates, who is on the sidelines watching this election. Good morning, Counsel.
Good morning, sir.
It's very interesting to see you this early morning. And by the way, congratulations. You're celebrating 5 years. Yesterday we saw the celebrations, and congrats on that.
Thank you.
Candidates and so people are counting on all that. What do you think of what you see, the blame games going on from the opposition to the ruling party and to the Electoral Commission?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chamagro, for hosting me today. To begin with, the Electoral Commission, under the law, is mandated to organize and supervise the elections. And all the presidential candidates, as of now, as per the law, they are a property of the Electoral Commission, and they are supposed to oblige and follow whatever guidelines the Electoral Commission gives them. Okay. Now, currently, the election we are having is a very tricky one.
Scientific election.
It's a very tricky one. We have never had it in Uganda, and perhaps that's why there are so many challenges. Which challenges cannot be handled by only the elections, I mean by the Electoral Commission, but basically by all the stakeholders. This definitely compelled the Electoral Commission to come up with under the new public health COVID-19 instrument that increased the number of, for example, a number of gatherings from 75 to 200.
Yes.
Now, this is being done in good spirit to ensure that the prevalence of the pandemic, which is actually alarming, is controlled. However, this does not, you don't need to be a genius to understand the rationale of this. However, because of the enthusiasm, the excitement
of the populace,
that comes up with the elections, you find that the implementation of this is extremely very, very tricky. And this is not only on a few, actually across the board. You'll see President Museveni, when he's moving, when he goes for rallies, people want to see him.
Yes.
Now, controlling these people to the 200 number is difficult.
Yes, indeed.
You have seen the NUP candidate, Senator Chagulanyi, when he moves.
Even Katumba.
Even Katumba, yes. You have seen him once in a while sitting down and telling the police, look here, I want to address my people.
Yes.
So it is challenging for the Electoral Commission to control this.
Okay.
However, my own opinion is that the Electoral Commission has not done much in as far as implementation is concerned.
How best could the Electoral Commission could have gone around this?
My own opinion is the Electoral Commission as the epicenter of the elections, the organizer, that is supposed to issue the elections to all parties, because as per the law, the Electoral Commission is independent.
It's
it's not supposed to get direction from any authority or any person. So as per now, as far as the elections are concerned, what the Electoral Commission says should be actually final and binding on all parties. Now, what happens if the Electoral Commission issues guidelines and there's non-compliance? And there is no reprimand, then the directions of the Electoral Commission are not going to be
followed.
So the Electoral Commission has to bite. How? The Electoral Commission is, in fact, what the police is doing sometimes is overboard.
It should be Electoral Commission.
It should be Electoral Commission in liaison with the police, because of the manpower and what comes with organization.
And keeping law and order as well.
And keeping law and order as per the police, because they're under the law, they are mandated to keep law and order, safety of property and lives. But you have seen that partly the Electoral Commission tries to pull back, the police takes center stage, And because for them they are implementing law and order,
they will still go on.
They will still go on.
Counsel, what do you think could have brought the Electoral Commission to this level that it's taking a very cold feet on some of these atrocities while they're happening in broad daylight?
I think that is dangerous. It's dangerous for our society. The Electoral Commission must take charge. It must show its independence. It must show its impartiality. It must show its resilience in as far as organizing elections are concerned, because that's its mandate. You know, the Electoral Commission is not even obliged to take the president's guidance, because the president is a candidate. As far as is a candidate, is a candidate. You have seen isolation cases of the Electoral Commission calling a few candidates to come on board. In the eyes of the public might look at this as being a discriminatory or selectiveness. You are seeing, what if the Electoral Commission called all candidates to harmonize and have a binding document or memoranda?
Not agents, but all candidates.
All candidates.
Nice.
Because if you call candidate A today, who's supposed to be in Amur today, and you want him to come and meet you, what is going to happen to that day that he has missed in that particular course?
It won't be refunded.
It won't be refunded because there is already a timetable that has been drawn for all candidates. So my opinion is, if the Electoral Commission is to prove its worth,
it needs to bite.
It needs to bite.
Counsel, I'm not sure you're well versed with the laws that establish the Financial Intelligence Authority, but does it have its powers to freeze accounts without fair hearing? In what is happening with regards to the NGO forums, the accounts have been frozen under the guise, the president said that they are being funded by external forces that want to cause anarchy in this country, and they were deemed under the terrorist bracket. What do you make of that as a lawyer?
Thank you very much. Under the Financial Intelligence Act, I mean the Anti-Money Laundering Act, it creates the Financial Intelligence Authority as a watchdog to see, supervise, do investigation on illicit monies coming in the country. That is good, first of all, for the economy.
Yes.
It's good for all of us, because Uganda is at the center. We are surrounded by a number of countries, Somalia and so forth. And Uganda has been at the forefront of ensuring that
we have regional peace.
We have regional peace in the country. That's why you are seeing Uganda and Somalia, recently in Central African Republic, Burundi, South Sudan.
We are building roads to Congo.
We are building roads to Congo. Yes, though some of these decisions have been criticized, but personally, from a commercial point of view,
it makes sense.
As a commercial lawyer and a person looking at the practice in the region, my ability to reach Congo very fast
will be eased.
It will be eased and it will help us to penetrate. Now back to the question. Under the law, once the financial intelligence, and this has been even decided in the case law, once the Financial Intelligence Authority has reason to suspect that an account of any individual or corporate entity, or for example an NGO, is being used to bring in money for illicit money, or money for finance of terrorism and so forth, they have a right to freeze. One thing you need to know is that the right to freeze does not mean that the account has been blocked forever. They do freeze, investigate, and once you give satisfactory reason as to the purpose of the money, the source of the funds, and the reasons why you are bringing it in, definitely they will unfreeze it.
Let's talk about the timing, Counsel. Every now and again, this has always happened whenever we're going to elections, it's the same conversation. The president has been on record saying that these are being funded by elements of disruption. That's how he terms it. But the timing, he talks about the same thing when we're going into elections, where CSOs and NGOs have to actually be observing, because they need logistics. From your point of view, the law is right, and I agree with the law. It is the right of the financial intelligence to freeze account and investigate. Let's talk about the timing. What do you make of the timing?
Well, I think you have seen in the recent past, you have seen what is happening in this country during elections. Usually, in our country, the sentiments, there's a lot of tenseness during elections.
Indeed.
I want to give you an example. Last month, you saw what transpired in the streets of Kampala, where
Very gross.
approximately, allegedly about 62 people were shot dead. Now, if you look at those circumstances, of course, there were people rioting because of the arrest of the NUP president. Police had to come in to quell the situation.
And security agencies.
And other security agencies.
In plain cloth.
In plain cloth, in both plain cloth,
and
uniform,
and military fatigue.
And military fatigue.
Yes.
There was exchange. If we used to watch it. There was exchange on both the civilian end and
security end.
And the security end. People are being shot. I think you saw that police officer, that lady who was shot, who was I know that was a lady who was hit
with a hammer.
With a hammer. Now, the president is a candidate, but at the same time is the president.
He needs to take charge.
In his capacity as a president. Now, if there is reason to believe that perhaps there are people who are funding certain people in this country with a view, because it's not only the president, but you have seen clips of the media indicating that there are some fellows from maybe the US who are interested in destabilizing. There was an attempt to destabilize Tanzania. There was an attempt to destabilize Uganda.
That in Rwanda as well.
Personally, I do believe in democracy, but I don't believe in insecurity. I don't believe in the torture. I don't believe in disruption. Because you have seen that when there are disruptions on the streets of Kampala, all the shops are closed.
Business is hampered.
Business is down. That hampers the economy. To a person like me who's employing more than 22 people, that affects me. Because if we don't have work in the city, that means there is no earning. Now, back to the gist.
The timing.
The timing. Suppose the government lets in money to come in. When they have intelligence that actually this money is to fund or to disrupt the country, and it keeps quiet, what is going to happen to we Ugandans? Don't you think we shall blame the government in power at the end of the day?
In that regard, Counsel, I want to invite you to a school of thought. This is what I think. If government has intelligence, and it really has, I don't doubt that, and it says there these monies and these monies that are coming in, but it's not only the NGOs. If we're going to audit the money, the source of money, can we just go on an overhaul and we look at all the different, even other political actors, who is funding NUP, who is funding DP, because they cannot fundraise from their party members because we're in COVID-19. So how are they getting the logistics and the operational costs of whatever they're doing vis-a-vis the CSOs? If our intelligence was good enough, Counsel, before elections, could indeed be better that 4 or 5 months ago they had brought these CSOs and NGOs to a halt and they say we're going to investigate you. But few weeks to the end of the campaigns, where some of them are going to be observers, and then there is a halt coming in.
My opinion, honestly, is there must be a reason to investigate. An investigator cannot just come up from nowhere and start investigating without a reason.
And says you're getting illicit flows.
Seriously. Because my opinion and view is that perhaps all along government has been monitoring these accounts.
Okay.
And then they have been monitoring the funds that have been coming in. I'm giving my personal opinion, not that I have confirmatory evidence on this. Perhaps the government has been monitoring these accounts or the Financial Intelligence Authority. But there has been maybe evidence that the rate at which the funds are coming in are alarming. Okay. And it's not explainable. That causes reason for any agency to believe that, look here, but we have been monitoring this account. The extent at which the funds have been coming in is not the way they have been. So the question is, what are the funds for? And this, generally, any country, any government, any state would be concerned.
Okay. Yeah. Counsel, let's now talk politics. You're a young man just like me, running a fairly successful law practice. What kind of Uganda do you want a presidential candidate to promise you if you're to vote, you as you? What are those key elements are you looking at and you say, if this presidential candidate promises me A, B, C, D, E, I'll vote for him?
Thank you.
The
Thank
nation
you.
is watching, Counsel.
Thank you very much. It's very interesting.
Yes.
But of course, as I speak, I'm not speaking not only as Musangala,
Oh, yes.
but there are many other young people.
Yes.
There are many other Musangalas out there. Personally, I think it is very important for candidates to look at that which benefits the population other than looking at that which benefits a few individuals. Health care is something very, very, very key. Very, very, very key across all board. It doesn't discriminate. Health care doesn't know whether you're NRM, whether you're FDC, whether you are NUP. What it matters is that everybody is sick.
Oh, yeah.
You have seen what is happening in our hospitals. How prepared are we to handle the COVID-19 pandemic
as a nation,
as vis-a-vis the democracy? Personally, I would think if there was a way to postpone the election,
it should have been.
I would have supported that the election is postponed. We put leadership on hold and we concentrate on the hospitals. Because you see, as a leader, assuming I'm one, I would love to have a healthy population than just having a population that votes for me and the following day they die. Secondly, there is need for us to have continuous peace if we are to develop in this country.
By peace, you mean?
By peace, I mean peace, security, safety of property, and safety of lives of individuals. A presidential candidate who preaches insecurity, personally, I want to go with that candidate. A presidential candidate who comes in and says, look here, we are going to ensure that our soldiers are safe, safe in the way that their welfare is improved, the police officers, the remuneration, because these are people who are keeping our country.
Oh, yes.
So we must make sure that they are well motivated. And many other things.
So health and security is very key to you.
Security is very key.
Well, lastly, the allegation that smart people like you and I have rather leave politics to some people who complain about. Are you a part of the elites that arrive at the opposition leader Kizza Besigye speaks about? I had a conversation with him on Monday, and he said his biggest challenge is that people like you and I, who are more vast with what is happening in our country, who know what should change, we just keep talking, but we never go to vote. Are you part of those, or are you one who is inclusively involved from the village level to the national level, wherever you can?
Personally, I mentally disagree
with Besigye,
with the retired colonel on that assertion. There is what we call a calling in life. If my calling is to be a lawyer, it does not only need, you don't need to be in politics to change society.
Okay.
That's my opinion. You don't need to be in politics to change society. If you're a journalist, you are here educating the population.
Indeed.
If I am a lawyer, I'm trying to interpret the law.
For the citizens.
For the citizens to understand. Kizza Besigye is a doctor. And I think I have seen a few things he has been doing in as far as boosting the immunity and so forth and so forth. Do you know how many people have, for example, emulated what he has shared in as far as health is concerned? I'm following the
concoction. It's what I take on a daily basis. In the
thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. So it doesn't mean that you should be in politics to change society. So the elites are doing whatever they are doing in their right to change society. If all of us are going to be in politics,
then who is going to be the lawyer?
Then who's going to be the lawyer? Who's going to be the journalist? So personally, I disagree. I disagree with that.
Okay.
I believe that the population, our population, needs more information on the manifestos of the various candidates, and I believe that the media should do more. The political actors should do more. Of course, we the elites should also do more. Not that we should sit in the comfort of our offices and enjoy. Yes, I am here. You have invited me. Yes. I am sharing with the public. Once we have an opportunity, but not all of us have opportunities to do what I'm doing now. So I think, yes, every person is entitled to his own opinion. Kizza Besigye is entitled to his opinion, but I personally disagree with it. I think the elites are doing very well. in their rights in whatever they are doing.
Well, that said, there is a trajectory. By and large, the population has failed to believe and follow what you lawyers are doing. They're not trusting the system of the law over time. From where you are as a lawyer, an observer, and a practitioner of the law, what do you think has brought us as residents of this great nation not to believe in the lawyers? Have we been scorned so much by the lawyers? Have we been conned to the far edge that, you know what, you know, a Ugandan would rather corrupt someone than going to a law firm and say, take up this case? How do we change that narrative? Where have you gone wrong, and where have we gone wrong as citizens?
Thank you very much. That's a very pertinent question that goes to the root of our professional ethics. I think it is pertinent for, first of all, lawyers are managed and governed by the law council. And my opinion is every day, each and every day, usually Fridays, lawyers are being disciplined by the law council. Many lawyers with practicing certificates have had their practicing certificates revoked. However, the law is not only premised on lawyers. We have had instances where, as lawyers, you genuinely win your case, court gives a court order, and the court order is not respected. So what does this call? You have talked about corruption.
Yes.
Corruption is a human fiber that has eaten our society, not only in the profession, in our profession, but it's cutting board. However, how we deal with each situation will have a permanent impact on how other people look at it. So personally, I think as Musangala advocates and solicitors, for example, we are changing that. We want to build a team of young professionals that is legally acceptable, socially acceptable, and ethically permittable in society. Okay. The reason for the last 5 years, I am a young lawyer, having enrolled in 2015, but we are trying to build a new age
of lawyers,
that believes in ethics, that believes in professionalism, that will go to court and argue a case without necessarily bribing a judge or a magistrate to win favor. I would rather lose a case on principle than to pay to win.
Wow. Hold it right there. My colleague Ivan Kamanawalunyoro is in Entebbe giving us an update about the petition issues on the other side of Entebbe. Ivan Kamanawalunyoro, what is the latest update about that in Entebbe? If you can hear me.
Well, a very good morning to you, Andrew Chamagala, and our audience. I am coming to you from the streets of Abaita Babidi in Katabi Town Council, Wakso District. Broadly, the campaigns on ground, of course, the bid is so high at all levels, expectations from the aspirants, but also the voters. And as we speak now, the scientific campaigns are conducted as such. We have not registered any chaos, and people are continuing to campaign. The voters are receiving messages. They're being, wooed to win their attention by the voters, but they also have different expectations. But for today's morning here on the streets, I want us to look at the youth politics. Everyone who is campaigning says the youth should be given more attention, and as we speak now, many other people, of course, are approaching them and seeking them. I have two gentlemen who are vying for the representation at the district level for the youth here in Nkumba Parish. But I want to get a sense of what they want to bring on table. This is Kikomeko Julius, and this is Kayanja Louis. The two gentlemen want to put things on table for the people at Nkumba Parish, but we want to understand what do they have in the docket. Sebo, welcome with me on morning at NTV.
Thank you very much.
Let me hold it for you. We want to know, what do you want to bring on table for the people of Nkumba?
Oh, thank you very much. First of all, I want to, I'm Kikomeko Julius, and I'm aspiring councillor for Nkumba Parish, which I intend to represent at Wakso District. First of all, when you look at our parish in Nkumba, unlike the past where people were engaged in traditional economic activities, say fishing, most of them were working in quarries, now you find that most of the youth are engaged in service. Most of them are in border, most of them are in mobile money. So you find that most of them have resorted to service. But of course, they've got some challenges when it comes to service delivery. Things like taxes, things like the poor conditions of our roads, they are really affecting them. Most of them are being harassed or exploited by the authorities.
Oh.
Instead of bringing up programs to organize them, to see how they can carry out their activities harmoniously, authorities come up to exploit them and vault all their rights.
Yeah.
So we are here to see.
Let me first go to Kayanja.
Yes,
Kayanja, what do you want to bring on table?
As you know, I'm called Kayanja Lewis, the councillor in Kumba Parish to the district. I think this is the right time for the youth to engage into politics. They have taken long. This is time for them to liberate themselves. Youth are educated. They really want to come on ground and they know what really is happening right now. Let's take a look on the statistics of the previous elections and even these elections. Before, the statistics shows that the youth were not so much engaged into the elections. This is the time. They come on ground, they want to liberate themselves. When you look at the works they are doing, the jobs they are doing, look at the border guys. Those past days we used to think that the border guys are the ones who never went to school. At the moment, we have border guys who are educated. We have lawyers, we have teachers. And in Kumba, we have more than 13 border stages. We have people who have been working in the mining areas. They have been mining sand. They have been making bricks, but they are no longer there. Why? They are being chased away according to the way the government want to operate. This is the time they come on ground to liberate themselves. They are educated, but they are doing nothing.
I'll come back to you. How do you determine your capability to serve in that particular position? How do you determine your capability to serve in that particular position?
Thank you very much. First of all, I'm a tested and proven leader because currently, as I speak, I'm the national chairperson for an organization that fights for workers' rights in the flower farms. So I've been mentored, trained, and I've gone through most of the leadership trainings. So currently, as I'm used to fighting for workers' rights, I know workers' rights does not only stop with the workers in the formal settings. As I told you, most of the people in Nkumba now are in service. We no longer have the sand mines, we no longer have the stone quarries. What we are having now is service. Most of them are borders, things like mobile money, small restaurants. But my issue is about exploitation of workers. It is high time we come, we take our mandate as youth to see that we harmonize the employment sector in Nkumba Parish.
How do you determine your capability to serve in that capacity?
As you know, at the moment, I will not look at how the training that I've engaged in and how I can participate in this way. One, we have to look at not only people who are working in Nkumba. We have a number of population of the youth who are just littering around in Nkumba. We have a number of people who are not even getting any single coin in Nkumba. We are not personally, as a national unity flag bearer, I'm not looking at Nkumba Parish only. I'm looking at international, the national way. How many youth are seated on ground? Look at in the places of Kairira. We have youth who are just there doing nothing. We are looking at engaging them into practical advancement in development, economically.
Your last words to the people of Nkumba in 20 seconds.
Thank you very much. Nkumba people, I'm called Kayanja Lewis. This is the right time that you're going to get a leader who is going to advance you in the way you're going to economically develop.
Okay. Your last words, 20 seconds to the people of Nkumba.
This goes to all Ugandans. Ugandans, it's time for change. Let us stand up this time and bring change in Uganda. We are all behind Chagulanyi Robert Sentamu, but personally, I'm a flag bearer for Democratic Party. So I represent DP for this lot, but I encourage all Ugandans to embrace change this time. We've had enough in Uganda, and it is time that we wake up to have a change in Uganda.
The two gentlemen vying for a position to represent at the district level for Nkumba Parish are giving us some of what they have in the docket for the people of Nkumba. Of course, like I said, Andrew Chamagero, the campaigns are on ground scientifically. No chaos has been registered. Omuntu wa wansi bampadde obubaka nti tokyayagala kukiikirira abantu bo. Abantu ba wansi bakyakwetaaga. Kankomewo gy'oli mu studio amakya amalungi eri abatulaba.
So much, Kamana Ivan Warunyoro. I still represent Omuntu wa Wansi. Now, joining me is my other colleague, that is Habit Ziwa, who happens to be in Kasese. Ziwa, what is the latest on ground, and are people paying attention to the SRPs? Is that candidate paying attention? And has he, in one way or the other, highlighted something to do with the illicit financial flows? Has he hinted about it?
Thank you very much, Andrew Chamagero and the viewers. We are in Fort Portal, the tourism city, and the new city that was declared by Parliament just this year. As you can see from the background, lots of infrastructure development is going on, and trucks and a few people are trying to ensure that this city is beautified. Even the road from Kasese to Fort Portal, which we used in the night, has also been upgraded, and that shows you that a lot of infrastructure development is taking place. But coming back to politics, this is where the NRM candidate Yoweri Museveni is going to be today, meeting the NRM leaders from the districts of Kabarore, the districts of Kyegegwa, Kyenjojo, and others. Tomorrow he will proceed to Bundibujo to meet the leaders from there, of Bundibujo and Ntoroko district. If you're to look at this Toro sub-region, you would say it is predominantly NRM, with some constituencies going unopposed. One of them is Chaka South, where the Deputy Attorney General, that is Jackson Kafuzi, comes from. He came through as unopposed, and that shows you how strong the NRM is. But here in the city of Fort Portal, there are many candidates from other political parties who have come up to contest. I've seen a poster of a candidate from the National Unity Platform trying to come as the mayor of the city. There are also many posters of FDC candidates coming over here to contest against the NRM. Fort Portal municipality, before it was declared a city, is represented by Alex Ruhundo. This member of parliament voted against the removal of the age limit. He opposed it in parliament in 2017, but we were told that he reconciled with the NRM government and President Yoweri Museveni, as we have seen in other areas where many voted against the removal of the age limit, and is now back into the mix and back into the party of NRM. We also have Sylvia Rwabogo, the woman member of parliament for Kabarore district, who is coming in the city to stand as a woman member of parliament. She also voted against the removal of the presidential age limit. So we are here today and tomorrow as the NRM candidate Yoweri Museveni continues to seek the mandate of Ugandans for another term in office.
That is my colleague Habit Ziwa. Counsel, you've heard what is happening on the ground. Many electorates are doing all that, but coming back to you, yesterday, I'm sure you must have seen a letter from the Uganda Communications Commission to Google, asking them to rein in on YouTube channels that have been streaming Bobby Wine's campaign, claiming that these caused the riots. What do you make of this?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chamagero. To begin with, UCC is mandated as per the law to control the media and all the media channels. However, with the emergence of social media, there is a challenge of implementation. We have alleged media houses that are not even licensed.
Indeed.
But they are operating. Now, it is within its mandate to regulate the media, because there is need to protect the consumer. What the end consumer receives must be saved, its impact assessed, because you have seen a lot of sectarian utterances, sectarian conversations, a lot of tribalistic sentiments, which have no place in modern day Uganda.
Indeed.
Because if you begin fronting tribal politics, that is going to destroy our nation. Because if you find a Mugwere talking against Musoga, against this and this, that does not bring in unity.
Oh, yes.
And that's a mandate of UCC. Once they have reason to believe that, yes, there is an alleged online TV that is broadcasting sentiments that are most likely to be detrimental to society, I think they have a right to come in and stop that.
So what happens if Google doesn't respond positively to UCC's?
I'm sure UCC has, I'm sure my brother, Abdul Salam, is a brilliant legal mind.
Yes.
I'm sure they will take the necessary recourse
Okay.
to ensure that they do this. However, one thing you need to know, this brings in the issue, of course, people are talking about freedom of speech.
And freedom of expression.
However, freedom of expression and freedom of speech have a litmus test. If freedom of speech is misused, then it ceases to be freedom of speech. It could be, you are perpetuating hate and you call that freedom of speech, then that is dangerous freedom of speech.
Yes.
And as such, the powers that be need actually to have it checked.
And assess it. Thank you so much, Simon Peter Musangala, the founder of Musangala and Company Advocates. Be one of those great young legal minds we're having in the nation. Connecting to my other colleague, that is Stephen Mbidi.